All lies will be exposed. That's all.
Hello, hello, hello. I hope you can hear me. I am back again. Good evening, living for me. I am back again. Please like, share, and subscribe and comment. I love to engage with the subscribers and the viewers down in the comment section. Woo, y'all, I have been over here finishing up these little notes I had gotten on marriage and medicine. I hope you guys can hear me because I decided I did not want to sit at a desk. I'm sitting in the middle of the floor in my guest bedroom, honey. Me, this mic, and this computer. Um, so I hope that everybody's ready, that y'all have watched the show, that you know all about what happened. Where's my cell phone? Oh, there it is. Okay. So let's get started. Let's get started. My name is Lady Rowe, and welcome to Lady Rowe's Queendom. We're gonna talk about married to medicine, couples therapy, and paradise problems. This is season 12, episode number 13. Next week we will get the season finale, which will be the Met Gala. Chad, looks like they're gonna have a mess on their hands on next week. But as of now, we still gonna talk about what happened this week. Fair use disclaimer. Some material in this video is used under U.S. Copyright Fair Use Section 107 for purposes such as commentary, criticism, news reporting, and education. We're going to be doing some commentary and a whole lot of criticism. And maybe if we're lucky, we'll educate each other and we'll learn something from what these people done went through on this TV. Because, baby, they was tripping. Good evening, Symmetry. Mods and chat. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome back. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. I know commenting on there, but I love the engagement. If you have not, set your notifications so that when I go live, you can actually get a notification that I'm going live. Remember, all views expressed in this live, they're all alleged, they're in my opinion, and they're all for entertainment purposes. Please don't go out your way to dislike nobody. In fact, let me put my little clicker down here, letting y'all know that all views expressed they're just mine. We're just having a little fun down here. Anywho, like I said, this is Married to Medicine review. As many of you know, Married to Medicine is one of my favorite shows, reality shows on TV. It just happens to be on Bravo. This is season 12, episode 13. This is next to the last of the episodes from this season. This has been a great season. I believe the ladies came out here and gave us what needed to be given. Um, Even though we have Miss Heavenly as a friend of, when Cecil said on his, I believe it was his Twitter yesterday. I think it was yesterday when he posted. He said that Dr. Heavenly only missed one episode, which was kind of, I didn't realize it, but he said she really only missed one episode from the show. So I think that's a good thing, to be honest with you, because she was in every episode, I believe. I don't remember her not being in any of the episodes. So glad to see that she's back. Give me 1 second, you guys. I am trying to put this, I'm gonna have to cut this TV off because it's been getting on my nerves. There it goes. I see now. So yeah, he said in his thing that Dr. Heavenly only missed, like I said, one episode, which I didn't really realize at all because it seems like, again, she's been on all of them. You said one episode, but my film 7 weeks without her. Yeah, that's true. But I guess when he talks about, you know what, let me go look at that Twitter. Because I read that and I was like, I was remembering what she had said about him, about not, she wasn't there when the episodes first started. Well, because I like to, I love to be down here being nosy. You know that. Let me share my screen. Scroll up. Because yesterday he was getting folks together, telling them about, the South House, or one of the houses that he paid for cash. He said the Simone ain't never supported him, so he don't know where y'all got that from. Where was it at? He says, just so y'all know, Simone ain't footing no bill for me. And I am much older than the guys on the show, but I am very confident about my net worth and financial independence. Google me. Baby, I know that's right. I know that's right. And somebody was down there getting them together saying that Simone was carrying the weight of 3 grown ass men, child. They be getting with him and he get right back with them. Where did I see that at? Uh-oh. Cecil said, for the record, we asked King about marriage all season because we never thought Quad would be moving forward without a ring. The only thing I told Curtis is when you make people feel that their situation is based on their actions is tricky. Yeah, that wasn't just tricky, that was downright rude. Unpopular opinion, Married to Medicine is not good this season. Cecil said, real talk, what would a good season look like? A fight, an affair? One side says it needs to be more positive. The other side says there isn't enough drama. Just curious. I totally agree with that. I was trying to find it. Where he posted that. I may have to start with the live and then go back and find it. But he actually talked about heavily only missing one episode. It was either yesterday or day before. I may have screenshotted it. If I did, it's in my phone. People saying they wanted Mariah back, and he was like, well, that's not a new person. I thought that was hilarious. Because people was like, oh, we need new blood. Yeah, I have to go back and look because I can't find it right now. You said again, they must not have anything. They must not have had anything. Exactly. Especially since if she only missed one episode and she didn't come in until week 7. So you're definitely right about that. You said, I saw that he said, okay. Yeah, I was trying to find it. Oh, wow. That's not a new person. Someone had said on there that they needed new blood. They needed fresh blood. Bring Mariah back. And he was like, well, Mariah's been here before. She's not new. So I think he was just kind of, he could kind of get a little out of line sometimes over in the comment section, but at least he's engaging because that's what social media is clearly about, being socialized. Just socialize. That's all they want you to do. Engage with your audience and with the people on social media. That's what social media is, period. Anyway, let's move forward. This opened up with the men on the beach where they left off last week, where to me it seemed like Eugene was kind of trying to pick a fight. The episode opens with the men on the beach. Eugene still nagging about. It was said that we put Toya in charge to see it fail. I put in my comments, who really cares? Who cares? We know your wife ain't been doing nothing, and you dead wrong for trying to defend this because it's not defensible. Dr. Damon responded with, either we're going to do it, either we're going to do the event and pitch in and help out, or we are not. Curtis said, right, move on and let's move on. And that is it. Eugene is literally picking a fight with Damon, just like I said, and he ain't taking the bait. Damon was not worried about nothing. Not nothing Eugene was saying. Eugene really, really wanted it with Damon, and Damon just wasn't feeling it. And I believe that Damon, that is that's his defense mechanism, because he may know that he can go there if he's pushed. I believe he really can go there, and he was trying not to be. You said Eugene is just like Toya, aggravated. Girl, very. Girl, she aggravated me in one part of this episode. I was like, girl, you a weirdo. But that's neither here nor there. Let me go back over here and finish with this review so we all could go to bed tonight. Eugene goes into the confessional and says Damon seems to want to blow this off. And I said, because it ain't nothing for the men to be involved in. These are a bunch of women that are just sitting around talking. Why do you want to include yourself in that? That just don't sound right. Eugene and his speckled lips, because his lips are speckled, says he don't know how they thought how they could be friends because this doesn't work for him. I said, right, because you want to be all up in the women's business and he don't. So of course it wouldn't work for you, buddy. Eugene says his wife is putting in a lot of work trying to do a charitable thing. I said, what about in the past years when the other ladies have put in a lot of hard work? Bye, boy. Bye, boy. Anywho, King speaks up and says, why are we sitting here dissecting what the women are bickering about? Let the women do their thing. Let them just sit, let them handle that. You ain't got to be over there, Eugene. Come on back over here. Let's do the man thing. Let's drink and look, be merry and have a good time. I don't know. I think Eugene really was barking up the wrong tree, but I think at the end, by the time they got through out there, he realized that Dr. Damon wasn't what you wanted. I believe that's what he finally realized when it all boiled down to it. Eugene said that he can't force Damon to have a conversation, but at least he knows how to move forward. Boy, don't nobody care. You don't even work near Damon. Damon only got to see you probably during filming. He's at his job, you at your job. No biggie. Woo, child, he gave me a headache. Curtis said that he and Jackie had a conversation, and he told her that he would ask the guys if they would help out. Hey, Queen Script, how you doing? Hey, Satin Baby Doll, how you doing, darling? So he began to go around and ask the guys if they would help. Curtis did. Eugene said he would. Curtis said that he would. Scott said that his household would be contributing. King said that his household would be contributing. Girl, I don't know what King meant. And Steve said that, I'm just going to say it, I'm out. I loved it when he said that. I'm going to put it out here. This may be the unpopular opinion, but I ain't helping. He said that he has a scholarship that goes to Morehouse School of Medicine, and he just wasn't going to do it. One of the reasons why he said he did not want to do it was because he felt like his wife had been excluded, and he did not want to commit to something with the guys, and he had not talked with Mimi about it because he knew exactly how she felt. And he said the thing was with Mimi, she'll never say anything about it. He said, but I don't mind because I'm the husband. Back over where the ladies are, they're at the limestone massages. Yes, sad. And he said, nope. He said, this may be the unpopular opinion, but baby, I ain't gonna do it. I'm sorry, move on. I ain't fist to do it. And so I thought that was funny. Back over the limestone massages where the women are on rafts. The women are talking. It seems like they're having a good time. Everybody seems to be getting along. All the while the men are getting massaged. The women are over getting limestone massages, and all the while the men are getting massages on the beach because the ladies have come over and asked them if they wanted to get massages. Everybody got a massage, except Steve. Steve said, y'all playing with fire. Dr. Damon said, I think I'll take a foot massage. And then in the confessionals, he sat over there and told Heavenly he didn't get a massage. Baby, when I tell you, these men are hilarious. Steve said to the guys, he said, if anybody needs a couch to sleep on, I got you. And the thing was, we saw those men getting massages. Where was Dr. Bernard? Did anybody see Dr. Bernard when they was on the beach getting massage? Girl, let me move on. Anywho, back over at the ladies, Contessa asked Angel, what you gonna do tonight, Angel? And Angel said, I don't know, ask the host. And I thought to myself, why are we asking Angel to begin with? If you're gonna be doing something, Angel's not hosting. She's a guest star just like the rest of you guys. Symmetry said, what's the big deal about them getting a massage? Girl, I do not know. I think Dr. Heavenly just be putting on for the gram. I don't think she really care about David getting a massages. Talking about our schedule. Oh, honey, baby, Daddy, did you get a massage? And he was like, he's shaking his head, no. She said, that's right, because I scheduled all of the masseuse for my girl. Shut up. She said, are men not supposed to get them? Girl, I don't know what they was talking about. That's why I couldn't understand. I was like, this is whack. But child, while the women was getting a massage, the men were getting them a massage too. Very innocent on the beach. And if you ever been to a Caribbean island, those are women are going up and down the beach, ask if you want a massage. They ask you if you want a little bit of anything, especially in Jamaica, baby. They willing to do a little bit of anything for a little bit of change. At Symmetry, I wish I could get one right now. Me and you both. Even Steve refusing it. I didn't understand why Steve was refusing unless he just didn't want to get his feet. I don't know what was going on with Steve. Steve maybe thought he was looking too good for a massage. I do not know. Let's see. Toya said they're going to go. They're going to have a couples therapy in the evening, and for some it'll be girls therapy too. Dr. Heavenly asked Angela if she was going to participate in the couples therapy, and then Contessa asked, "Is Bernard here?" I said, "Girl, you already know that answer. I don't know why you was over the trip. I don't know. That was whack to me. I don't know if that was weird or what." Heavenly asked if they were in the same room. Angel responded, "No, we are not sharing the same room." Angel said, "He's only my friend." I don't know why people don't get that through their thick skulls that people can be friends with opposite sex and they not be over there doing the hanky panky. Anywho, Toya said, "If I were single and I invited one of my friends on a couples trip, wouldn't that give them the impression that we are more than just friends?" I said, "No, dummy. No, dummy, that would not." Anyway, moving right along. We see the couples arriving at dinner. We done skipped all the rest of that stuff. They done left the beach. They done got all their stuff and they gone. The men gone. The women gone. We see the couples arriving at dinner. The women are talking about the limestone massages, and Toya says in the confessional that she has only had one sexually motivated massage, and it was kind of weird. I said, "Girl, do you hear yourself? Do you hear yourself?" There's no way you hear yourself. Eugene said, "But you wasn't married to me, right?" And Toya responds, "Yeah, I was married." Awkward, awkward girl. Tacky Toya. When I say she earns that name every episode, every single one of them. Eugene said that he didn't touch nothing. He didn't touch nothing, did he? And Toya said, "No, I didn't get like a finger or nothing." Girl, what? Where are we going with this? Then she says, "Oh, I'm just joking." I don't know if you're just joking. If I was Eugene, I still would one eye open if I was you, if I was him. The couples play a game and a game show, and they separated the men from the women. Question number one: who is more likely to give unsolicited advice to the group? And the majority answer Eugene. Girl, Eugene is such a woos. He is such a woos, Sadden. Oh my good, he is such a woos. Symmetry said, "Me too." Oh, you want your massage too, girl? I was thinking we must be all on the same wavelength because I'm going to schedule one tonight on the app, honey. I am going to schedule me a massage. When they say the massage stimulates me, and they say the massage stimulates, girl, my husband go get some massages. I don't know if it stimulates him or nothing. He always come back here and go to bed, talking about he's sleeping. But we get massages together too because I have a massage EV membership. But yeah, no dummy is right. Eugene just over there doing anything trying to make this lady happy, but she just in there embarrassing in the confessional. Um, so question number one was, who is more likely to give unsolicited advice to the group? And then Eugene goes, I would never give unsolicited advice. And they do a whole montage of this man giving advice, and no one asked him for any of it. Child, when I say Eugene and Toya, they are match made in heaven. Definitely a match made in heaven. Just silly. Question number two: who is most likely to turn a disagreement into a full-blown fight? And Scott referenced Simone. He had a thing of the post. It said boat on his phone. And so contestant said, "Did you mean boat? I mean, what were you trying to say? Because you typed boat." He said, "No, I'm talking about boat." And Scott was referencing Simone in a past boat argument. He said that hold on, you guys. When I tell you this thing keep cutting off what I done said, I don't want you to cut out what I'm saying. Cut out what other people be saying. In fact, let me go over here to my comments. Give me 1 second, you guys. I'm trying to get to where my comments are. Because I think they missed off some of the things. And they did. Let me go back up. So let's go back to before the questions. They're still on the they're still at the on the beach. The men are still at the beach. The women still at the limestone. Um let's go back. Okay, so Contessa asked if Bernard was there, and I said, "Girl, you already know that answer." Heavenly asked if they were in the same room. Angel responds, "No, we're not sharing the same room." Angel said, "He's only my friend." And Toya said, "If I were single and I invited one of my friends on a couples trip, wouldn't that give them the impression that we are more than friends?" I put, "No, dummy." Back at the men's, they cheers it up, and he tells them, Eugene tells them that tonight they're going to have a good time, and they gather their belongings and they leave. We go back to the ladies. Quad asks a question: "Who in here has the perfect relationship?" And both of Heavenly's hands went up. Girl, I got a good chuckle out of that. They asked Quad what was her biggest challenge in her relationship. And Quad said one thing is she used to cook every night, but she got burned out on cooking. Dr. Heavenly asked her, "Why is he getting all of the wife benefits and you aren't his wife?" Quad said, "I'm not even pressed to be a wife right now." Quad said the king has asked her to marry him before, but she thought it was just some BS. And she was out there playing around. Quad in her confessional talks about one day at King's condo, he said, "We can just run up here to the courthouse right now." And she said she didn't think he was serious. So, she didn't think anything else about it. Quad said after that time, he kind of shut down. And then Quad tells the women, "I'm being very vulnerable." And Dr. Mimi asked her, "What does she want out of the relationship right now?" And Quad said she wanted a family. She wanted this man and she wanted his children. Toya says, "So why not stop talking about a baby and start talking more about marriage?" And Quad said, "No, no, no. We're talking about what I want. Not what you want. We're talking about what I want." Dr. Simone said Quad does love King, but she may be in a stage in her life where she wants a baby with or without a husband. And I am in total agreement with that. We see the couples arriving at dinner on the beach. The women are talking about the limestone massages, and Toya says in the confessional that she has had only one sexual motivated massage, and it was kind of weird. And of course, I said, "Girl, do you hear yourself? You sound crazy." Eugene said, "But you were not married to me, right?" And Toya responds, "Yeah, yeah, I was married." And Eugene said, "He didn't touch anything, right? He didn't." And Toya said, "No, I didn't get a finger or nothing like that." And I put, "Girl, what?" Then she says, "I was just joking." Of course, the couples play the game show that separate the men from the women. Question one was who is more likely to give unsolicited advice to the group. For the men, and they asked the question for the men, and the majority of the men said Eugene. Eugene says, "I don't remember giving none of y'all advice." You know how he does that nasty laugh that I hate. And Toya says, "You're always jumping in other people's conversations." And Bravo, of course, rolled that beautiful bean footage. And of course, just like she said, there he was jumping in all the men's businesses. Question number two is who is most likely to turn a disagreement into a full-blown fight? Scott said the boat. And they played Simone yelling. And that time she and Scott got into it on the boat. Contessa said he is talking about Simone because she said, "Oh, he's talking about Simone." And Scott said, "I didn't say no names, but she's really loud, real loud." Question number three. On the lady side, who is most likely to call out the wrong name during X? And the majority of the people said Toya. Child, you talking about weird, 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 weird. And so she goes, "I would never do," Eugene asked her, "With you?" And she goes, "Oh, I would never do that. I know the right name. It'd be Eugene, Jean, baby, babe." Boo. He was like, "Yeah, that's why they thought you'd be the one most likely to call out the wrong name." When I tell you that Toya is something else. She is something else. Question number four. Who is most likely to have a private life that what no one knows about? And heavily put on her thing, Jackie. And Jackie goes, "Oh, no one was talking to you. No one was asking you," I believe is what she said. I believe the game was a success. It looked like it was some fun. You said, "Child, I just got out the hot tub, mama side." I know that's right. Said, "Baby, that sounds good." Even I knew what Scott was saying when he typed both. Me too. That was the first thing I went to was when him and Simone got into it. I don't think Simone knows what not being loud means. I don't think she does either. But did you hear her say that she's learning that it takes different tones with her husband? Girl, I don't know. I do not know about Simone. The group splits up. They split up. Men had a therapist, and the women went and chatted up with Dr. Mimi at the helm. But we do see that the women just kind of just talked amongst each other, and I thought that was beautiful too. Scott said they ain't going to Sigmund Freud me to death, honey. I love that about Scott. Scott is not interested in none of this bull swanky that these folks like to do. Cecil said he don't have a problem with the psychiatrist or therapist or nothing. And Simone said, well, that's not true. Not true. She kept saying it. That's not true. Every time he would say something, that's not true. King said he don't want to talk about his emotions. I'm gonna tell you something. I think, take it for what it's worth, these men were not interested in having a therapist, but they got one there. Anywho, Simone tells King now why she went over and tapped him on the shoulder and started talking to him. It seemed as though something was missing, like they'd edited out something. But Simone taps King on the shoulders and she says, let's, get tap into less of your chauvinistic side. And someone goes and runs her off. But she was really telling him, you're not, he said, I'm not a chauvinist. She goes, yes, you are a chauvinist. Tap less into that side of yourself. They have a guy named Dr. David. He's a counselor located in Jamaica. Eugene is telling all of the men's business. Charlie telling all their business. Telling who is, what he going through, and what he going through, which I thought was weird. Then we go over to the ladies. Dr. Heavenly asked the women a question. And she asked the ladies, to be honest, she said, when you look at your husband at night, do you think about slapping the shit out of him? All the women start laughing. Yo, the way I got my Kiki on when I watched that was hilarious. Because, baby, if you married, you've been there. You've thought about it. I remember one night, me and my husband got into an argument. He got to bed. He went to sleep. But I said, I don't even know how you can sleep. Don't you think I would choke you out? Man, I ain't never been worried about you touching. But I just thought that when she said that, I just was like, oh my God, get out of my head. I thought that was funny. So funny. And they all busted out laughing. Heavenly said there ain't a night she don't look at him and say, I feel like knocking him clean the fuck out. Baby, all the women were laughing because they all could relate to it. And all the ladies said they could relate. Even Qua was laughing. Qua was laughing harder than probably all of them. You said, Simone, you said, what, Simone? Oh, symmetry raising her hand. What symmetry? Oh, I see. Symmetry. You can relate. I'm telling you, if you've been married and you and your husband have ever had a disagreement and then he go to bed and he ain't talked it out, you look at him like, I'd have punch you in your throat. So I could definitely relate to Heavenly. I thought that was so funny. So funny. She then asked the ladies if they had dreams about knowing another man biblically. Baby, when I tell you they had real girls talk, I love it. I love when women are able to sit down and just have some great conversation. It's just a relief almost. You know what I'm saying? So they all said I do. And I mean, each one of the women said I do. So they all dreaming about having relations with another man or knowing another man biblically. Oh, Symmetry said, especially if you're snow. Exactly. Oh my God, girl, that was just a couple of nights ago. I was like, can you turn the other way? I would unplug his oxygen CPAP machine, y'all. Ooh, bad. Angel said, Heavenly, do you be on OnlyFans in your dreams? And then Toya asked, what is the one thing that you think in your relationship, if you could beat this, then you would be all good? And Simone says she knows that she gives, she beats Cecil down and she gives him a hard time because he simply has a difference of opinion. And she said that is something I have to work on. And I was glad to see her acknowledge that because she did be beat post Cecil up. Toya asked Simone, she said, how could we be here for you and Cecil And Simone said, with communication and talk, that they're in a much better space, her and Cecil. She said she is trying different tones with Cecil on different days because she realized that she's not always, she said, contrary to what y'all believe, I'm not always loud. Yeah, I don't believe that. I definitely don't believe that. Back over to the men. Cecil tells the men about he and Simone being a work in progress. The guy actually tells me, he goes, "What about you, number 28?" And Cecil's like, 29. Don't be shortchanging me because, baby, I done had a hard 29th year. Yes, exactly. Living for you. Toya's answer should have been, yeah, Simone should have told Toya, just be quiet. That's it. You be quiet and I'm going to be A-okay. Eugene said he literally thinks he was built to be able to deal with Toya. Eugene said he tells Toya oftentimes in arguments that there is nobody else who is going to deal with you. And you're just about right. I believe that. I believe that no one else is going to deal with Toya other than yourself. Sad baby doll said, I wonder if Simone gets loud with her patients. Girl, I don't know. It seems like she only has one tone. It really does seem like she only has one tone in her voice. Steve said, do you realize how lucky we all are to have found our person in the world? In a world of millions and millions of people, you found that one person who just really completes you. And then back over to the ladies, Dr. Mimi begins to talk, and she's talking about her marriage and how she and Steve both have issues for sure that they're working through. She begins to talk about her biggest challenge in her life is raising Stevie, her son. She tells us that Stevie has moderate or autism, and he was diagnosed at 18 months. She said even with being a psychiatrist, she didn't know much about autism. And once they got the diagnosis, she began to start feeling some parts of grief. She said, grieving the expectations that she had for her child. Her biggest struggle is his safety. How do I keep him safe in a cruel world as he grows up as a Black boy with special needs? And how do I protect him from people who just may not understand it? Y'all, that, when I say that, had me over here grabbing my tissue off the side of the couch when I was watching it. Oh my God, I was blotting my eyes because um it took me back to the little boy. I forgot his first name, but his last name was Rice. He was in the park playing with the little toy pow pow, and he was unalived by the police officer. And I often wondered, did the little boy have autism? Little sister was within a matter of feet from him, but he was unalived while he was playing in the park. And I can only imagine what that looks like for Dr. Mimi and Steve, for little Stevie to be dealing with it. Because that's a lot to undertake. Shoot, my child got all his faculties, baby. And sometimes I worry about him just being who he is, a Black boy in America just trying to survive. And what that looks like for him. I really wonder that sometimes. Um, Dr. Mimi explains that when she says she needs her husband, she's saying that she needs her husband to say that she's doing a good job as a mom. Because you know what, as a mom, and I don't think a lot of people realize that when you carry a child for 9 months, you think that anything developmentally that goes wrong with them, sometimes women blame themselves. They don't blame the other party. They don't think that, his sperm was jacked up, the reason why the kid may have this, or it may be his DNA, it may be his genetics. They automatically sometimes blame themselves. And she said that she needs her husband to say that she's doing a good job as a mom. And she needs him to reaffirm her. And we did see that this season. She came home one day. Steve wasn't home yet. Stevie was acting out. She had to pretty much drag him out of the car. And the one thing that I saw when Steve came in, he was like, sit down, relax. Let me handle Stevie. And he took over with Stevie. Stevie went in the living room, was playing with the lamp. Remember, he drug him back in one room with the lamp because Stevie wouldn't let the lamp go. But he was reaffirming and giving her those words of affirmation. And I could see where that really is something that she needs because, again, as a mother, you carry that child for 9 months and you feel like if there's something wrong with your child, that you fail them. I don't think you really ever think that it's the father. I think women always feel like they're the blame for when things happen. We go back over to the men, and Steve is talking about what defines a man based on the way they have been raised, about what they actually. Tamar Rice, exactly. I'm sorry. I could not remember his first name. Tamir Rice. I've often wondered, did he have something like a special needs, the reason why he was just out running around playing, and someone took that as though it was something totally different than what it was, and he was unalive because of it. He was a child, but they don't often see our black boys as children. If they are 15, 16, they're going to say black boy, a black man. They never see us as what we actually are. This was a child that was unalived by a police officer, and all he had was a toy pow pow. That's it. But they took his life for it. Oh, anyway, let's move on. I don't want to get too emotional, but that was something that resonated with me, something I thought about, because our young men do have a lot of challenges because they are born already with 2 strikes against them, black and a man, period. 2 strikes just from birth. Just getting in this world, and I already got 2 strikes against me. That's heartbreaking. Anyway, we go to Dr. Damon. He talks about the hurt from not seeing his son. There was another soft issue, I thought. He said he just misses his son, He said he is at a point now where if anyone tries him, they can get it. I summarized it, but that's pretty much what he was saying. Back at the women, we see Dr. Heavenly, and she says as a mother, she worries about her children. She worries about, are they okay? Are they doing fine? I can relate to that because I have 3 adult children, and I worry about them every single day. I call them every day to make sure they are okay. You're fine? How was your day? How was work? Each one of them, they will tell you. My oldest daughter says that I am a helicopter mom. She's always saying, "You're a helicopter mom." I don't care. Call me whatever you want to. I feel like I have a duty and a service to make sure my babies are okay. Sometimes it weighs on me a little bit too heavy because my anxiety be through the roof, especially on that boy. I bet not call him and his phone go to voicemail. If I call you within a couple of hours and it's still going to voicemail, I'm in my car and I'm headed to your place because we got to find out what's going on with why your phone is going to voicemail. That's just how I feel about it, and I'm sorry, but that is me. I think in this world, this day and this age, when you have young girls who live by themselves, that you owe it to them to keep in contact with them. My husband, my youngest one, I don't have to call her that often because, baby, when I tell you my husband gonna call her 4, 5 times a day, he gonna make sure the baby's good. My oldest daughter, I normally call her, and I call my son. I make sure those 2 are good, and that youngest daughter, he gonna call her before he go to bed. He gonna call her, make sure she at the apartment and she doing good. Child, when I say we some helicopter parents, we are. We claim it, we own it, we wear it well. Yes, constant contact. Got to have it. Got to have it. And Heavenly, as she was talking about her kids being worried about them, Simone began to talk about Michael, and she talked about how she at night, Michael not coming home, how she worried about him being upside down in the ditch. I'm gonna tell you, those are the things we think about, especially when these raggedy kids don't answer these cell phones. I'm calling you, especially when they were younger, like 19, 20, gone to college, and I'm calling you, you ain't answering the phone, and I ain't talked to you in all day long, and you ain't answering the phone or it's going to voicemail. Now I'm thinking something wrong. You know what I'm saying? And as I've gotten older, I think about the stress I put on my own mama based on these kids. Because it was a lot of nights, I done went to college. I want to hang out all night. My mama worried about me. We ain't had no cell phone. I had to be home at a certain time, even at 19 and 20 years old. And child, if I wasn't home, I remember this. I'm gonna tell this like it was yesterday. I remember one night, I'm grown. Ain't little grown, grown. Baby, I was not at home by 5 a.m. I met my mama and daddy headed to town looking for me. Baby, when I saw them pass me, they didn't see me, but I saw them. Baby, my heart went into my throat. When she got home, my daddy, he didn't say much. Like I said, my mama was the disciplinarian. My daddy went to bed. Like I said, this woman that woke me up to go look for you. I ain't got nothing to say. I'm going to bed. She gonna handle it. And she came in there. We had the longest conversation. And so after that, I realized I was probably wearing the horns off my parents. Nope. I had to go to my mom and apologize after my kids kept keeping me up at night. I called my mama one night, and I was the next morning, I believe, not the night, but the next morning. I was like, Mama, I'm so sorry. She's like, for what? What you do? And I said, I'm sorry for worrying you. Mama, she said, I told you, you live long enough, you'll understand. You'll understand why I'm worried about you coming home at night. You was traveling up and down them dangerous roads by yourself, but she wasn't lying. Baby, we lived in the back of nowhere. We lived 15 minutes from town in the dark. And me and I had a brand new car, but baby, I would be driving that car. Anything could happen to me. Anything could have happened to me. But I was young, dumb, and just doing wild stuff. Staying out. And that's the thing, I really wasn't doing wild stuff. I was just staying at the club till, at the party till it closed. It closed at 2:00 in the morning. Then we go out to eat, then I go home. But my mom wasn't having none of that. You got it. And I'm a PK too. A preacher's kid. Child. Was supposed to be at the club. No way. Anyway, Angel chimed in and she said, that's, when we have to give it to God. And Heavenly said, you got to give it to God. Child, I can't give it to God. I got to hold on to this because I am stressed out behind this cheering. Anywho, Angel said that she is in an open relationship with Bernard. They talk about that. And back at the men, they ask King what is his intention. And I'm sorry. Angel says she isn't open to having a relationship with Bernard. She said that she just gonna keep it at a friend level and he can go about his business. Back at the men, they ask King what is his intention. And King says they are on their own journey. And Cecil says, don't you think that she wants to be married? And King says, honestly, you guys are pressuring me more than she is. Then Curtis sits up in the seat. He actually scoots to the end of the seat, literally scoots his behind to the end of the seats and starts running his mouth. He says, you guys are going through the process of trying to have a kid. He says you want to think about doing things in decent and in order. King says it can't necessarily be in order because of Quad's age, and that should be common sense. Curtis says he was talking about it from a biblical standpoint. He told King, you guys are living together, playing husband and wife, and you are not married. The complications that you're having could be in the way because you guys are playing house, and in the Bible, that is a no-no. King said, we are not going to weaponize the Bible against me right now. He said, we're not going to do that. And Curtis said, we're talking about in the Bible, you guys are just out of order. And King responded, I think that is because of the medical complications, not necessarily order, buddy. Cecil said, I love Curtis, but this is low. And Dr. Scott said, you are too young to have dementia to be saying something crazy like that. Dr. Damon said, who's going to cast the first stone? Damon was the only one, I believe, that came in there with some common sense. You said Curtis was definitely out of order. Out of order. Queen Script said he was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Dr. Damon said, who's going to cast the first stone? Damon said, I have no judgment because it's none of my business. King said they're doing it. They're doing this on their timeline and what works for them. King said Curtis needs to do some self-reflection and hold himself accountable. And then, of course, they screenshot on back over to when Curtis and Jackie were split up because Curtis was over here doing the rah with the lady that he was bringing through the airport at the Jackson Hartford in Atlanta, one of the busiest international hubs in the United States. He was bringing his woman through there, his side piece. Anyway, back over here, what we talking about? Curtis kept talking. He didn't stop Curtis, honey. He kept on running his big flappers. Steve finally said he wanted Curtis to just take it back. He said, at this point, I just want Curtis to just reel it all back in. And King asked Curtis if he abided by all of God's rules. And Curtis said, absolutely not. And I said to myself, Curtis is making all of the men uncomfortable, just not one, all of them. And I think him making them uncomfortable comfortable made the men who really don't like the conflict speak up, such as Dr. Damon and Steve. Back at the women, they asked Quad about her trauma regarding this IVF journey and her relationship. And Dr. Heavenly said that King needs Quad, not the other way around. Dr. Heavenly said, men will disappoint you. Quad said, I've been disappointed with him and I love him. And I'm solid on that, baby. She raised her voice a couple of octaves. And I'm solid on that. This is what I want you to understand. Quad said it would hurt her beyond belief if the relationship did not work. Damon and Eugene talked. Eugene said that he wants to protect his family. They go over and they huddle up. And Eugene tells Damon, I want to protect my family just like you want to protect your family. Man, I want to protect my wife too. But there's no way you can protect your wife if you're doing you're doing something totally opposite. You and Dr. Damon are not the same. He says, we got a lot of similarities. The only similarities y'all are both doctors, MD, medical doctors, and y'all both work in the ER. That's probably the only similarities. You do not even have the mannerisms of Dr. Damon. Stop it, boy. Stop it, Eugene. You want to sound philosophical and smart, but baby, you missed the mark on that one. Queen Script said the busiest in the world. Exactly. Busiest airport in the world. Good evening, Susie. Yeah, definitely the biggest airport in the world, and you trampling your woman through here. And so where was I at? Did I move? Hold on, you guys. I think I left my spot. Well, the men were talking to each other. Eugene was saying that that he's the same as Dr. Damon, and he wanted Damon to understand that he wanted to protect his family. And there was some things said. He's like, last night I just really wanted to talk to you. I was angry. That's why I walked off. All of those are you problems, Eugene. They're not Damon problems. There are you problems. Dr. Damon said, don't question me about my son, because I'm going to go there. Those were his exact words. And I believe those words is what simmered Eugene down a little bit. Because you question me about my son, baby, we're going to take it there. And Dr. Damon said that his son is not one of those subjects that he will be playing around with. He won't be playing around with. This is a life that this is a line that he don't want nobody to cross, period. Eugene said he would never say anything about Dr. Damon's son. We don't know what you would do, because you married to Toya, and you and Toya tend to have the same type of frequency, same wavelength, and it's something that Toya would do. Eugene then apologizes. He said he was mad, but he did apologize. Eugene said he wants Damon to know that he has the same code about his wife, and they hug it out, which I like that they did. Eugene and Toya thanked the group, and then they said their goodbyes. Child, she said they thought it was a great trip. If you think it was a great trip, girl, go ahead, because I don't know. I don't know if it was a great trip. Y'all had some really touchy moments there. Dr. Damon is consistently the same, sensible and unproblematic. Exactly. And I don't know how Eugene would think that he was, we're the same. Y'all are not the same, dude. You're weird. But yeah, moving on. We see the couples have all returned from Jamaica. You said, go on, Eugene. You just like your wife, and you'll do it again. Exactly. He just like his wife, because you getting that confession. I'm gonna stop going through my notes just to say this. I went on back. I've been rewatching all of the Married to Medicine starting in season 1, and I will say this: Eugene was the first person who actually went on camera and said that Mariah's daughter was not Aiden's. He was the first one. It was Eugene. Then it was Toya went to the beauty shop and told him. But on camera, Eugene said it in the confessional. He was the very first person to mention it. And I'm going to screenshot it one day, and I'm going to show y'all. We're going to go through some moments of Married to Medicine that I actually absolutely found appalling. We're going to go through it after the show is over. We got one more episode and then we'll have the reunion and then we're going to go back through it. But I'm telling you right now, the first person to mention it on camera was Dr. Eugene. He mentioned it in a confessional with his wife, Toya. That's it. I'm telling you. I saw it with my own eyes, heard it with my own ears. It was Eugene. Oh my God, it was Eugene. It was Eugene. It was Eugene. So there's nothing you can say that's going to make me believe that you're just like Damon, because I don't believe Damon would have ever did that. Even if he knew it, I believe he would have kept it to himself. Just like he wanted to protect Heavenly and not tell Heavenly that their son had been in trouble. And I believe that affects him probably more than it affects Heavenly, because I believe Dr. Damon loves his children overall. And we have seen him talk. Remember when what was that episode where they had dinner together and he came in, it was both of the boys and the daughter, and he started crying. And I thought, this man really loves his kids. He really loves his kids. And I will tell you this, my brother-in-law's mom was the same way with her husband. She called her husband daddy as well. And when she told me the reason why she called him daddy, it all made sense. So when I hear Heavenly saying daddy, I understand it, because I remember this lady telling me the reason why she called her husband daddy. Well, for one, because her children, she wanted her children to know that was her dad. So that was the first reason. She said, but at the second part, she said he was such a nurturing husband. She said, I just kept calling him what the kids called him, daddy. Everybody, he daddy. And she said some other things I ain't gonna say out loud, but I understand the reason why she does. You said messy Eugenia, baby. Yes, messy. Wow. He was the first person to come on this camera on the TV and say that Lauren was not Aiden's child. It was him. It was not Toya. Toya said at the beauty shop, he got back to Mariah, but Eugene is the first person to come on camera and say it out of his own mouth in a confessional. He said it first. Yes, ma'am, he did. So, excuse me. We see the couples have returned from Jamaica. We are at Contessa and Scott's house. We see Contessa in the kitchen cleaning up. And Scott said, oh, you let the kids wash the dishes. And she was like, I couldn't take it no more. I wanted my kitchen clean. Scott comes in. He has on a new pair of glasses. We go over to the Sanders family, and they're at a jump park, and they're just having a good time jumping around. And Steve says after this, he was going to need a and some medicine. He said he was going to be in pain, I'm sure, because, child, these kids are where you at the jump house. We see Toya at the house. She has a stack of $100 bills in her hands, and she's giving out to her sons for their grades. One she gave $500 for. He got Silver Eagle 3.5 and above. The other one got $1,000 because he had a 4.0. We move on for them, and we go to Quad and King, and here we go. This is how we know that it is over for these two. Quad and King, they're at Quad's house, and they're talking about Dr. Jackie. Quad said Jackie had been texting her about the comments that Curtis had said while they were in Jamaica and the men were having their conversation. Jackie was upset about the remarks. And King said that he believes that Jackie would not have agreed with Curtis saying that to anybody. And King said everybody was talking about the marriage. And King said that he needs his needs to be considered and appreciated. He said that Quad isn't showing it. King said Quad was ungrateful when they were in Ghana, and Quad said she tried. King said he tried to the point of exhaustion. Child, these people, they tied through and delayed, honey. It is over for them. It is over for Quad and for King. I believe that we saw this relationship unfold. I think there was a lot of pressure put on him when it came down to having a child. I believe it was also a lot of pressure put on Quad because she wanted it so deeply and she could not achieve it. So sometimes maybe in that she may have gotten a little agitated, because we all know if you're a little bit sick, you don't feel well, you got to give yourself these injections. Your hormones are going crazy. You can be a little bit abrupt, a little bit rude, a little bit wild. And I just think that's what happened. Maybe not even intentionally. It just happened. Anywho, that's all I got for you guys. I am going to do a montage of some wild things that have happened, just so we can have some memories of what these people have shown us on this show in the past, because I think we've forgotten who these people actually are. We've forgotten in 12 seasons that Eugene came out here on screen and again talked about Lauren not being Aiden's child. We forgot about the very fact that Simone has been screaming and yelling with everybody on the cast, and her picking at Heavenly, I believe, was just a ploy to try to ruin Heavenly's run for whatever office. I believe her and Toya actually set up together to go after. Let's go on a press tour and make sure this chick doesn't make it to the representative house or whatever, Congress or whatever Heavenly's actually running for. I believe that was something that they kind of got together and did. Anywho, that's all I got, y'all. That's all I got. I enjoyed this episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville, but as you know, this is one of my favorite shows out there. If you don't mind, you said I believe that about Simone. Yeah, Simone has done some wild stuff on here. I'm also going to show y'all the fact that Simone, every time there is someone who has been excommunicated from the show, she's been the leader of that. She has been the leader of the pack, whether we like it or not. She has. Her and Toya have always been at the helm of it. They were at the helm of getting rid of Mariah. They were at the helm of trying to get rid of Quad. It just didn't work. They were at the helm of getting rid of Sweet Tea. They were at the helm of that. They were. And then this year they tried to get rid of Heavenly. Child, a big mess. A big mess. But you need Heavenly if you're going to move forward. You definitely need Heavenly if you're going to keep this show getting the ratings that it gets, because this show gets a lot of ratings. It is a good show. It is because you get the drama, you get the sensitive side, and then you get the couples. You get it all. You get all the relationship part, the family. You get all of it. And I believe it is an overall good show. I really do. You say yes, you take it back. Exactly. I believe they work. They work too. Is that what you're saying? They work together too. Oh yeah, definitely they work together. I believe that those two, Toya and Simone, they get together and they decide what kind of mess they're gonna do. When I looked back at those episodes, I saw where they both worked together simultaneously to try to get rid of someone. They just did. They just did. There wouldn't be a show without Dr. Heavenly, in my opinion. I totally agree. In my opinion, I feel the exact same way. Heavenly brings a lot to the show. I believe they all do. I don't think there's one person that this show really could stand to be without. I believe everybody brings even Simone. She brings something to the show. They all do. And I think they have a great cast. The new girls, I believe Angel is a great fit. I believe Brandy really is a great fit. I just wish she wouldn't be so far up Toya's behind. That's just it. I call it a brown noser. I just wish she would just kind of stop, wipe the nose and just move on, because I think you do a little bit too much. Anywho, all minds clear. Did Simone and Contessa ever get into it? I don't know. I'm gonna have to look, because I don't. Yeah, they've been friends for the most part. I'm not sure if they've ever had a disagreement. Contessa's got into it with Toya. She got into it with Heavenly. I don't think she's ever gotten into it with Jackie. I don't think she's ever gotten into it with Simone. Or Quad. Mm-mm. Yeah. Well, you know what? I take that back. They got into it because that whole boat incident was because of Contessa. It was because Contessa had been complaining about Scott, but when they mentioned it back to Contessa, she didn't want to hear it. Well, stop telling these people your business if you don't want them to rub your face in it. This is how I look at it. Let me tell you something. You keep your marriage situations. Some people you cannot tell. Nobody but God will go on in your house. And I'm just being very honest. You said they need their original cast. Yeah, I don't know. I really like the show without Mariah. I'm being very honest. I think Mariah got too big for the show. That's just my opinion. And who am I? Who am I? Who are we missing that has left? The only person that was on the original cast that's no longer there is Mariah. Everybody else is there, right? Is there anybody else that was there? We had what was that girl that came in? There was one lady that came in. We had Sweet Tea. She was an original cast member. That's it. That's just Mariah and Sweet Tea, the only two people that have been there and left. I was on Simone's side on the boat. I didn't care for Mariah. Yeah. But you remember when when Simone and Scott got into it, it was because of Contessa. Carrie, I don't want her back. No, keep Carrie. Keep Kari. Baby, she's so fancy she don't even have 2 R's or an E in her name. Kari. Keep Carrie off the show. No, we don't want my father drives a Jaguar. No, ma'am. Keep Carrie off the show. Carrie thought she was better than the whole production altogether. She thought she looked better. She thought she brought more elegance and more pride to that show. Yeah, that's it. Kari. That's how you spell her name. Child, keep Carrie off the show. We don't want to see her or Duncan. Keep both of them off the show. Keep them both off the show. Her and her husband. And all her children. Keep them all off the show. We don't want to see none of them. All of them. Keep them off. And you know what? The crazy part is Carrie's still good friends with Toya. And you know what? I think they're good friends because they both on the same wavelength mentally. For real, for real. I believe that's why they're such good friends. Anywho, all minds clear. We're going to get out for this live. What time is it? Time for me to lay down. Lay down. You said keep Lisa Nicole off. For real, for real. Anila. I like Anila, though. I liked Anila. I didn't like them taking her off. Baby, Anila was giving Toya the business, and that's why they took Anila. Plus, they said she wasn't really giving nothing. But baby, she would give Toya. She gave Toya the blues. Remember when they pulled up? They're the ones that pulled up like they was the U-Haul, right? Yeah. They had done rented the U-Haul, had the U-Haul uniforms on. Yeah, baby. They was getting ready to move Toya because Toya was over there acting a fool, and child, I don't know. Somebody done broke into their house. Somehow or another it became Toya. I don't know how. That was the biggest mess. That was the most confusing mess you ever want to hear. That they thought somebody else had broken into their house instead of the child. Moving forward. A big mess. You said Anila's son and his beans. Oh yeah. Yeah. Remember the Anila had the housekeeper that left. They ran. I don't know if they ran her off, but baby, that lady left out there almost on 2 wheels. But remember who else? Oh, Contessa had a housekeeper, Miss what's her name? Diane? Gail? What's that lady's name? Baby, that lady, she embarrassed Contessa so when Contessa had that house party. She embarrassed the mess out of Contessa. I went off on her. She went to care for her mom, I think. No, I think she went because her daughter was having a child. She moved to be close to her child, I think. The housekeeper. Yeah. Do you remember Miss Renee? Yeah, that was Miss Renee. That was Contessa's housekeeper. Miss Renee. That was her baby. She embarrassed Contessa. It was so funny. Miss Renee gave Contessa the blues, went toe to toe with her about everything. Everything. Yes, Miss Renee. Anyway, you guys, I'm gonna go. I hope you guys have a great night. Thank you so much for coming down here and watching the live with me. We're gonna continue this discussion on down off in the comment section. I'll be down there with you because when I get into bed, I cannot just go straight to sleep. It takes me a few minutes to wind down. So I'll be in the chat, chatting it up with you. Miss Renee said the Contessa storyline was fake. She sure did. Baby, she talked about Contessa so bad. Contessa so bad. Oh my goodness. Yes, have a great night, everybody. I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.